Let's now take a look at some technologies or capabilities related to the brain that commonly appear in sci fi literature. Mind reading, unlikely yet possible. What I refer to here is a transfer of thoughts from one mind to another, or telepathy. It is a capability frequently portrayed by alien characters or even enhanced humans. It includes real time telepathy, as exhibited by the psi cores of Babylon 5, and memory reading, as employed by the Vulcan mind meld. I believe that these capabilities are not a huge stretch given our own experiences today. How many times have you known what someone else is thinking? If we can do this via external clues such as expressions and body language, who's to say you couldn't learn to do the same from an EEG or other type of signal? A connection from one mind to another does not require any real understanding of the mechanism underlying that connection, which is why I leave it open to the realm of at least metaphysical possibility. Mind viewers, almost certainly impossible. It's one thing to know what another person is thinking, but the term mind viewer refers to constructing a representation of a person's thoughts into actual images that can be viewed. This does not mean seeing what someone else is seeing in real time, which could be accomplished in principle by attaching tiny cameras to their eyeballs. Rather, we are talking about translating what a person is imagining into real images, or even reconstructing things that were seen in the past from stored memories. This seems to me a much more difficult proposition, yet it is amazing how often it is portrayed. How many episodes of Star Trek feature aliens who reconstruct artificial Earth environments from the minds of their human subjects? The earliest mind viewer I can recall is in Quatermass and the Pit, where Dr. Roney has invented a device that fits over a person's head and allows others to see their thoughts on a CRT monitor. It is easy for us to conceive of such a technology because when we imagine things, it is like we are reliving an actual experience. As mentioned above, I believe that this subjective experience within the brain is inaccessible to any physical process or device in principle. What is accessible is the movement of the electrons within the cells of the brain at the time a person is imagining something. I also do not believe that images are stored in the brain in the low-level representation of light pixelation. That would be extremely inefficient. Rather, it is stored as a set of modifications in the neural network at sites associated with the content of the images that are seen. I also believe that each person develops this network in their brain differently, like a fingerprint, making it impossible to find a mapping from the brain structure back to the original image content. Thus, mind viewers, in my opinion, are completely outrageous, and they always seem to make me wince when I encounter them in stories. Memory erasure. General memory possible, specific memories not possible. Men in Black features a neuralizer device that selectively erases the last X minutes or so of a person's memory. We already know that getting bumped in the head can cause people to forget things. If we know that memories are stored in the brain by altering the neural connections, it is certainly possible that by some form of deliberate brain damage, one can cause someone to forget things. The question is, how do you know which parts of the brain to fiddle with? Erasing the most recent memories seems plausible, since those changes could probably be identified in some way. However, trying to selectively erase a particular memory, or all memories of a particular subject, would be quite impossible for the same reasons given for the viewer technology above, unless you had been there to record the changes at the time the memories were formed. Mind control. Possible, to a degree, in The Wrath of Khan. The villain uses an alien worm creature to control Chekhov. The worm somehow attaches to the subject's brain and makes them succumb to commands. This is not unlike hypnosis, and certain drugs are known to make people more open to suggestion. But hypnotists and even cult leaders know that without the subject's willing cooperation, they could not control anyone's behavior entirely. Recent research, for example, suggests that the parietal cortex is the place where decisions about movement are made, but it is not that simple. Stimulating this region either makes people have the desire to move or makes them think they moved when they in fact did not. Stimulating the premotor cortex causes them to move involuntarily, but they are aware that they did not intend it. I believe the actual decision to move originates in the will, which is a metaphysical event. Thus, I think certain degrees of mind control may be possible, but the human will can never be completely subdued. Fortunately, most writers seem to agree with this and allow their mind controlled characters to break away from their captors given sufficient willpower. Virtual reality systems, external easy, internal not. This theme has appeared a lot in modern times, with The Matrix serving as the poster child example. We know that virtual reality is easy to accomplish if you do it by sending sensory data directly into a person's senses. And this is how it is often portrayed. The interface in Matrix is instead a direct connection to the brain. This means it requires stimulation of the sensory input centers of the brain in such a way as to recreate the desired sensations. However, Matrix has the advantage of creating an interface that each person grows up with from birth, and therefore would have the opportunity to teach the brain how to interpret its signals. The big problem there, of course, is that it would render your real senses useless. Once unplugged, it would most likely be impossible for your brain to rewire itself to experience the real world through eyes, ears, and skin. The system in surrogates does not have this limitation, but it presents an even more problematic technology based on some type of digital telepathy. There is so much that could be covered on this topic, but I decided to try to keep it to one long entry rather than a lot of short ones because it is not the main focus of the blog. It is, however, a relevant topic in science fiction literature that won't be going away anytime soon. I'm sure there are a lot of other opinions out there.